Canadian Prime Minister and floppy-haired cutie pie Justin Trudeau says his meeting with Donald Trump at G7 left him petulant to the point of being downright huffy. At a press conference after their meeting, Trudeau said Trump made him so shirty he just wanted to stamp his foot, and not in a good Bhangra dance sort of way like he did in India, but in a very, very snappish, I am not altogether pleased sort of way, which may even include him tossing his hair in a very waspish manner indeed. Trudeau said he had prepared for his angry press conference by repeatedly watching the scene from Love Actually, in which British Prime Minister Hugh Grant tells off that nasty American President Billy Bob Thornton, while all the British people look triumphant and the music swells. Trudeau said he wished he could have some music swelling at his press conference too, and maybe even some Canadians looking triumphant, although he didn't want to take things too far. When President Trump was asked to respond to the Prime Minister's remarks, Trump said he did not remember meeting with Trudeau, but he had enjoyed the song Love Yourself and thought Justin and Haley Baldwin made an attractive couple. When told that was Justin Bieber, not Justin Trudeau, Trump responded, whatever, same difference. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.
I feel hunky-dunky, life is tickety-boo. Birds are winging, also singing hunky-dunky-doo. Ship-shape, tipsy-topsy, the world is zippity-zing. It's a wonderful day, hurrah, hooray! It makes me want to sing. Oh, hurrah, hooray! Oh, hooray, hurrah!
All right, the Klavanless weekend is over, and I am back. Wow, what a weekend I had. I finished the sequel to Another Kingdom, so I'm gonna polish it up. Take me a couple of weeks to polish it up, and then we'll get Knowles in here to record it, and we should be up. I hope we'll be up by September. And Knowles is back from our honeymoon. We'll have him on the show. We've got a lot going on here. We're Tuesday tomorrow. We've got 7 p.m. Eastern. We're doing a special live stream in honor of Father's Day, with Jeremy Boring, the actual Daily Wire God King, descending to host a roundtable discussion with me and Knowles, and Zoe Rachel will be there. Is Ben not going to be there? Is he going to be there in this thing? Ben will be there. Yeah. Oh, it did. Okay, they left his name off this thing. Zoe Rachel will be there. Nick Searcy will be discussing fatherhood in our society. We'll be live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. And if you're a Daily Wire subscriber, go to dailywire.com to submit live questions, which will be moderated by Elisha Krauss. That's tomorrow, Tuesday, June 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And the conversation is coming up, which actually will be with Ben Shapiro. That's Tuesday in a week, June 19th, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. And he'll answer all your questions sent in through Elisha Krauss. The best thing about this is getting to hear Elisha read the questions. The Q&A will stream live on YouTube and Facebook for everyone to watch, but only Daily Wire subscribers can ask Ben questions. To submit your questions, log in to thedailywire.com, head to the conversation page to watch the live stream, type your question into the Daily Wire chat box to have it read and answered on the air. You got to subscribe again. It's a lousy $10 a month. $100 for the whole year, and you can ask questions answered by Ben Shapiro Tuesday, June 19th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, and join the conversation. We've got a lot going on. This is a happening place. This is where it's all going on. But come on over. It'll be fun. Meanwhile, you should be getting your Blue Apron food. First of all, we're going to give you some for free, so it's free food. I mean, I always feel like how klutzy is my audience that I can't sell them free food? Is it me? Is it something I said? Blue Apron, it's not just free food. It's really, really good ingredients that you home cook, but you make in your own home. You make restaurant-level meals. They deliver farm-fresh ingredients, step-by-step recipes to your door. Their mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone. They have different meal plans, a 2-person meal plan, a family meal plan, a wine plan, and they have it's just incredible stuff. Let me read you some of the meals that they've got. Creamy caramelized onion burgers with apple and pickled pepper salad. Not the sort of thing you normally make. Roasted chicken drumsticks and cauliflower with orzo feta cheese and olives. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals for free at blueapron.com/Andrew. That's blueapron.com/Andrew to get your first 3 meals for free. Blue Apron. It is a better way to cook. All right, well, that's a lot of business we have to take care of. But now we can talk about the news. Listen, here is my thought for the day. My thought for the day is that elites are savages. You know the scene in the Tough Guy mystery movie where there's all the elites are gathered at their mansion and they're having a party and the women are all dressed to the nines and flowing gowns and the guys are in tuxedos and everybody's being sophisticated. And then the rumpled, crumpled detective comes in and he's wearing a battered raincoat and a hat, smoking a cigar maybe or a cigarette. And he comes in and he reveals who the murderer is. And finally, like the mask drops and we see these elites suddenly just spewing hatred. Yes, of course, I kicked the maid to death. She was just the maid. What do I care? I'm the person. This is happening in front of our eyes. This is our elites reacting to Donald Trump. Our elites are revealing that instead of being what they think they are, what they want us to think they are, is these elevated, cultured, intellectual people who are looking out for a better world. They just show that they have their own interest. And if you roll a bowling ball down their alley and you break apart their interests, you make it harder for them to do business, harder for them to make money, harder for them to get respect, suddenly they turn into, it's like that scene. Yes, I kicked her, I killed her with my bare teeth. This is what they've become. So we see this at the G7. I mean, look, I'll raise a doubt that I have about Trump. But in general now, I think we have to start to trust the Donald. I think we do. He destroyed the Iran deal and we heard, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing ever. Obviously, it was a good idea. He pulled out of the Paris Accord. Now the sun is going to hit the earth because the gods will be angry. Nothing. It was fine. That was a bad deal. He was right. He's told them they had to pay more for NATO, and everybody, those are our allies. And he was like, yeah, why aren't they paying for NATO? Now they're paying more for NATO. He did all this stuff. We were told that his treatment of Kim Jong-un was going to destroy the world because the nukes would fly, and now they're having this conference in Singapore. They're actually having a meeting. So it's time to start to think about the fact that, maybe he knows what he's doing. At least he knows what he doesn't want. We know this so far. He knows what he doesn't want. He goes to the G7 and they're screaming, he insulted the Europeans and he didn't sign the communique. If you read this communique, I noticed that nobody published the communique. I had to hunt the communique down. It's just this statement, this bland statement of European socialist values. It's like we're all going to be European socialists. I'm glad he didn't sign it. They can stuff their communique. First of all, why don't they go to their countries and find out why their women and girls are being raped while their police turn a blind eye? I mean, if they're not going to defend the West, how do they become the representatives of the West? They put out this picture. You have those two pictures. They put out a picture of here's Obama at the G7. We're all buddies. He's got his arms around everybody. And here's Trump at the G7, facing them down as they, it's like, I would rather have this guy standing up for me. So I trust him. I'm not sure yet that he has a plan. I hope he has a plan. But basically, all he's saying is that we pay high tariffs on their stuff, which is true, and they don't pay as high as we do, which I also think is true. I'm not sure that's as true with Canada as it is with the EU, but it is true. So he talks about, here's basically what he was saying. Here's cut number 7, where he sums up what his problem is with everybody.
I think the relationships were outstanding, but because of the fact that the United States leaders of the past didn't do a good job on trade, it's going to change. I mean, it's not a question of, I hope it changes. It's going to change 100%. And tariffs are going to come way down because people cannot continue to do that. We're like the piggy bank that everybody's robbing, and that ends. We had extremely productive discussions on the need to have fair and reciprocal, meaning the same. People can't charge us 270% and we charge them nothing. That doesn't work anymore. The relationship that I've had with the people, the leaders of these countries has been, I would really rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, I would rate it a 10. That doesn't mean I agree with what they're doing, and they know very well that I don't. So we're negotiating very hard tariffs and barriers.
So, all right, so they're in this argument. And he says the relationships are good, but we're having a disagreement. We're in a negotiation. He leaves town, and Justin Bieber. You know that it really is. Remember that movie Love Actually? Hugh Grant is the British Prime Minister, and Billy Bob Thornton is the evil Bush, because it was evil Bush who was in office then. We never had these movies when Obama was in office. No. Then it was always what a wise, wonderful person he was. But then we had the evil Bush, and he comes in and he wants, I can't remember what he wanted Hugh Grant to do, but Hugh Grant stands up to him, and here's the triumphant scene.
A friend who bullies us is no longer a friend. And since bullies only respond to strength, from now onward, I will be prepared to be much stronger. And the president should be prepared for that.
So Trudeau is obviously watching this again and again, waits for Trump to leave because he doesn't want Trump to knock his block off, right? And then comes out with this kind of wimpy version of that.
The United States has moved forward with significant tariffs on our steel and aluminum industry, particularly did not take lightly the fact that it's based on a national security reason that for Canadians who either themselves or whose parents or community members have stood shoulder to shoulder with American soldiers in far-off lands and conflicts from the First World War onwards, that it's kind of insulting. And I highlighted that it was not helping in our renegotiation of NAFTA, and that it would be with regret, but it would be with absolute certainty and firmness that we move forward with retaliatory measures on July 1st, applying equivalent tariffs to the ones that the Americans have unjustly applied to us. I have made it very clear to the president that it is not something we relish doing, but it is something that we absolutely will do, because Canadians, we're polite, we're reasonable, but we also will not be pushed around.
You're a mean, mad white man.
You want to see a mean, mad white man? So Trump now tweets, what a weak guy. He was all meek and mild while he was in the room with me, and then he attacks me behind my back. Peter Navarro goes on Fox. He's the trade council guy. And listen to Peter Navarro escalate this war of words in a big hurry.
There's a special place in hell for any foreign leader that engages in bad faith diplomacy with President Donald J. Trump and then tries to stab him in the back on the way out the door. And that's what bad faith Justin Trudeau did with that stunt press conference. That's what weak, dishonest Justin Trudeau did. And that comes right from Air Force One. And I'll tell you this, to my friends in Canada, that was one of the worst political miscalculations of a Canadian leader in modern Canadian history.
I suspect that's probably true. You just get the feeling there's just going to be like a hole in the floor where Trudeau used to be. So the New York Times is running a story. Trump is destroying the West. He's negotiating with our allies who maybe got too used to thinking of us as daddy. Maybe they got too used to thinking of us as daddy, and now we have to take care of ourselves. Maybe. I'll get back to this in just a second, but first we got to talk about man greats. You got to say it like man greats, because it's Father's Day is coming up. And as you know, when you ask your father what he wants for Father's Day, he says, I don't know, whatever. And then you don't give him anything, you give him a tie and he's hurt, right? But if you give him man crates, he will be happy, because it's not just the gift, it's the way it comes. It comes in a gigantic crate, a wooden crate. You can have it taped up with duct tape, this is true. And then it comes with a crowbar, you pry it open. Some of your dads are going to want to pry it open with their teeth. That's the way I like to do it, just rip into it, rip it to shreds. But it's got great stuff like knife making kits, whiskey appreciation. That's the one I got. It had a beautiful decanter in it and some great glasses. It's for the dads who like finer things but like to rip open a crate before they get them. Get your special Father's Day discount today at mancrates.com/Klavan, Klavan. That's how. It's a limited time offer only for Father's Day. Go today to mancrates.com/Klavan, mancrates.com/Klavan. Great gift. It really is. They're really fun. So at this point, I think it's a rational thing for us to say, well, Trump has got a weird style. He's a little bit over the top. Let's see what he's doing here, right? What has he ruined? Whom has he oppressed? The economy's great, right? Peace. We got ISIS is gone. The judge appointments are good. Israel is our friend again. What's the problem? We're not going to war with Canada. We're in an argument with Canada. That's okay. What is the problem? But the elites, what he's disturbing is he is disturbing the system by which the elites became elites and the system that keeps the elites in place. And that's why what on earth is happening that these people are so angry? Did you see the Tonys? The Tonys are the Broadway Play Awards. Robert De Niro gets up at the Tonys. I'm embarrassed for the guy. The guy was a great actor in his day, This is his speech at the Tonys, and listen to the audience reaction.
I'm going to say one thing. Trump. It's no longer down with Trump, it's Trump.
It's a rapturous standing ovation from these wealthy theater-going clowns. I mean, this is like, these are the people who save up to go to the theater. People who save up to come over from Jersey, come in from Connecticut, come in from Long Island to see the theater because the tickets are so expensive. They save up. And basically, when you say that, you're telling every single person who voted for him, thinking, well, but he'll do some good things, maybe he'll do some. You're telling every single one of them the same words. It's not just Trump you're saying that to. It's to everybody who supports him, everybody who thinks he deserves respect as president of the United States. They interviewed this woman, Noma Dumazweni, who does the Harry Potter show. Harry Potter, classic bridge and tunnel show. That's what they call it. That means that the suburban people like to come in. The sophisticated New Yorkers are supposedly going to, see Denzel Washington do Eugene O'Neill, but the bridge and tunnel people are coming in to see Harry Potter. Listen to what she says.
One thing that's surprising about Harry Potter is that even though it's not as overtly political, like something like Angels in America, I sort of feel like there are moments in it, there are things that happen with he who must not be named, that have real resonance today, particularly in America. Are you aware of that? Do you feel that?
I really do believe that that's why this is resonating a lot at the moment. London, when it started, beautiful, and there was a moment we went, okay, this is the story we're telling. But now, 2 to 3 years later, since we've opened in London, to be here, you go, actually, this story is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And we us human beings, are all fighting to be connected, but especially to be seen. If you're not seen or not heard, that's where dangerous stuff happens. That's where people under the radar do very cruel things. And that's what this play is about. And it's about bringing things into the light, letting your light shine. This is what JK has always been about, let the darkness out into the light. And that's why I'm very proud to be here telling this story right now, because as you intimated, those things are very important.
Should the president come see the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child?
No.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah. Well, really? Really? First you tell us, first of all, that's a London accent, I think. So first you're a foreigner on our soil telling us our president can't come to your lousy show. So that's supposed to draw us. I mean, what would it take for them to stand up and say, I was given a gift. These people they were given tremendous gifts. They have tremendous talent. My gift is to entertain and delight you. My gift does not give me any great insight into who you should vote for or what decisions you should make, what political decisions you should make based on your life. I'm only here to entertain and delight you. I have my opinions. You have your opinions. I'm so glad you're delighted by my play, and sit down and shut up. What would it take? What would it take? Andrew Garfield, another good actor, he's in Angels in America. Angels in America is a not bad play that gay people, a lot of gay people in the theater, a lot of gay people involved in the theater, a lot of gay people like to go to the theater. Angels in America is this triumphant moment for gay people because it was this open gay play that arose out of the AIDS crisis. If you watch the play, it's absurd. Its thesis is absurd. Its thesis is that Roy Cohn, Joe McCarthy's secretly gay, vicious lawyer, was somehow his not coming out was somehow responsible for the AIDS crisis, as opposed to people going to bathhouses and sleeping with 22 people in a single night. That maybe that had something to do with it. No, it's because Roy Cohn was secretly gay. And so Andrew Garfield gets up and gives this speech, accepting this award. He can't just make his thank you speech.
We are all sacred and we all belong. So let's just bake a cake for everyone who wants a cake to be baked.
So what if I said, let's all be in a play about how wonderful Adolf Hitler was. Let's bake a cake saying that Trump is a great guy, saying make America great again. Why does he get to it? Where did they determine that they have the right to say what gets expressed, what opinions are okay, what opinions are going to be canceled and censored? What is he talking about? It's because he thinks, oh, I'm an actor, but you are just a cake baker. That's not an art. You're not. I am an actor. You make cakes. You don't have a right to express your feelings, your religious beliefs. It's unbelievable. They're even hoping, John McCain, and I hate to go after John McCain at this point. I know he's very ill, and I wish him well. And this is not a personal attack, but he tweets to our allies, right, the G7 people: bipartisan majorities of Americans remain pro-free trade, pro-globalization, very questionable, and supportive of alliances based on 70 years of shared values. Americans stand with you, even if our president doesn't. John McCain telling the Europeans that we stand with them rather than with our president. I mean, how low can you go? Bill Maher is wishing for an economic collapse so we can get at Trump. Listen to this.
This economy is going pretty well. We have to, what? Why is that funny?
It is going well for now.
For now, right. Thank you. That's my question. I feel like the bottom has to fall out at some point. And by the way, I'm hoping for it, because I think one way you get rid of Trump is a crashing economy. Yeah. So please, bring on the recession. Yeah. Sorry if that hurts people, but it's either root for a recession or you lose your democracy.
There's a guy who doesn't know what it's like to go home and not have a job and not be able to give your kids things and not be able to pay for things. What is he talking about? What are they all talking about? What is happening in this country right now, aside from the fact that Trump is obstreperous? What is happening that is making them so? I put together this montage because the left is always talking about civility. I just want to play a montage of these are things I picked out at random and asked the guys here to put together of the way they talk about the president of the United States.
I think he came off like an idiot today.
He is like a child.
I'm going to say it very bluntly. He's mentally ill.
Racist.
Racist.
Racist. Racist.
A wild animal.
It's either he is so stupid that he doesn't understand. No, it's possible.
We got Donald Trump in the first place as a punishment for not being good enough citizens.
Trump.
It's only because he is spoiling the assumptions that they live by and that make them rich, safe, elites, that make them admired. That's what they're so angry about. It is nothing that he has done. They cannot cite a single thing that he has done that has endangered this democracy. Hey, I have to talk about, I have no sentimentality about celebrities. When celebrities die, I don't get choked up. It doesn't reach me. And one of the reasons is it's not that I don't miss them. It's not that I didn't admire and respect them, but I know that they have family members who are actually in grief and who will be grieving past this day. So I don't like to get all elaborately sentimental about it. I have to tell you that I actually choked up when Charles Krauthammer sent out a letter saying that he only has weeks to live. He's been off the Fox News special report panel where I used to tune him in just to find out what I thought. I would just tune in. What's my opinion? Oh, here's Charles Krauthammer. Now I'll know. And he wrote this lovely stoical letter, very much in keeping with his personality, saying, I leave this life with no regrets. It was a wonderful life, full and complete with the great loves and great endeavors that make it worth living. I'm sad to leave, but I leave with the knowledge that I lived the life that I intended. It's funny. I remember standing with my pal Crowder, Steve Crowder, when we were both at PJTV, and we were watching him on TV. And Crowder turned to me and said, why does he sit so funny? And I said, well, he's virtually a quadriplegic. And Crowder didn't know, and a lot of people didn't know. I mean, he never talked about it. He never asked for pity for it. He never asked people to admire him for it. He wrote about it a little bit in his book of columns, but he really just went about it was just a tragic accident. He did something that I have done, is he dove into the wrong side of a pool. I did that. I broke my nose. One of the many times I broke my nose, but a little change in direction, same thing could have happened. A tragic accident. He never played off it. The reason I feel so connected to the guy, though I only met him once, I introduced him at a function once, but the reason I feel connected to the guy is when I came back from England and I started to realize, oh my gosh, I've become a political conservative. I started to look for voices that I could admire and respect. And they didn't have to say things that I agreed with. Krauthammer believed a lot of things I don't believe. He was pro-abortion. He had a probably more interventionist idea of American power than I have, but that didn't matter. All I cared was that they cared about freedom, they cared about liberty, and that they had integrity. And he had integrity, he had grace, he didn't scream at people, he didn't have to, he didn't have to talk in a melodramatic way to make his points. The one time I remember strongly disagreeing with him was when Obama and Hillary were in a primary, and he said, no, there's no way a guy named Barack Hussein Obama is going to be the president of the United States. And I remember saying, oh, yes, he's going to win, don't you understand? But the reason he thought that was because he thinks more highly of the American people than perhaps we deserve. And I always thought when he got his predictions wrong, it was always because he had elevated the people above what they sometimes do, because sometimes they do dumb things like electing Barack Obama. Just a great voice who really helped me find my voice in politics. And I'm, look, it's a wonderful life that he made out of sheer courage and grace and skill and talent. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm sorry to see him go. All right, we got Michael Knowles coming up. We got to say goodbye to Facebook and YouTube, but I should tell you before you go that you can now get us on Amazon Alexa and the Google Home device. If you use one of these virtual assistants, you can get the Andrew Klavan Show with a simple voice command once you enable the skill on Alexa or ask Google to talk to the show. For more information, check out our pinned tweets on Facebook and Twitter. Come on over to thedailywire.com, subscribe so you can be in the conversation and ask us questions on Father's Day special tomorrow, and then we'll have Michael Knowles.